Welcome to Sacred Wandering with Kira Brinton. My friend, this is a corner of the world where time stops, where the noise in our minds quiet, where we have soft hearts and we open our palms and we ask. This is a place where we receive. I invite you to join me as we wander through the sacred together. Welcome to Sacred Wandering. Good morning, my love. I welcome you here into this space. I welcome you into this morning. Wherever you are at today, exhausted, tired, alive, energized, I invite you to just show up as you are, to just arrive. Witness that you've made it here. We're going to take a nice deep breath in, and we're going to fill our whole being with the energy of gratitude. Ready? Breathing it in. And out. Let's go again. Deep breath in. As you breathe, think of all the things or one thing that you are so grateful for. And out. There we go. We're just going to call in our angels and our guides that they will come and sit with us during our prayers this morning, that they may be a support team for us in all that we do, that we may remember that we do not walk this path alone if we will but ask. There is a tenderness today. There's a reverence today for the honor that we get to sit with God. And the invitation that, what if you did this more than once a day? I've began blessing my body 3 times a day. And what's interesting is before, when I was only blessing my body once, I wanted to get through it so fast. And now that I'm meeting morning, afternoon, and night, blessing my body, meeting with God, the minute I get into my prayer corner, the minute I get into the energy of prayer, it's like my body rests. It feels like I'm getting into a soft blanket. And I'm so relieved to sit with God again. And I think how interesting that when I was only doing it once a day, it felt like a chore. It felt like a to-do. It felt like, okay, how do I get through this fast? And then when I finally obeyed God, which God has been asking me since February to pray 3 times a day, and it is now July, and it has taken me that long to obey this commission. Now that I'm meeting 3 times a day, every time I sit with God, my body is like, oh, I'm so grateful to be with God again. So this is just an invitation that if that calls to you to meet more with God, that you do, and that you see how it shifts and changes your energy. So much has happened for me since I've started meeting with God 3 times a day. I built a whole new division of my publishing house. I built a whole digital course. I went through 7 chapters of my book. I mean, so many things that have been on the table that I haven't been able to take action on are finally occurring. And I find that so fascinating. So, 1, it's okay if it takes you a bit to answer the commissions that God has given you. But when you do, miracles will happen, okay? All right, I'm going to read to you a message that God gave me on one of my mornings. And I love this message, well, because I love analogies, and when God speaks to me in analogies, it's my love language. These are the words that I received. Leaves begin with a bud, and the huge tree that unfolds those leaves began as a tiny sapling. Yet, as you sit under the 40-foot tree, filled to the brim with leaves, you don't think about how it all began. Take time to honor the sapling days, and then see that there is even more beautiful growth ahead. Witness, and then grow. And I think that is just such a powerful message for me and for everyone, because it's very easy for us to just keep moving, and witness what we have now. Even then, we don't witness what we have now. And there's this message of notice the sapling days. Like when I sit underneath a huge tree that's filled with more leaves than I could even count, I don't sit and think, wow, this was a sapling that was like bendable, breakable, could have been destroyed. And now this tree is nearly indestructible and has more leaves than I could count. And we are that. We have our sapling days and then we grow into the tree. But then what I was shown in this vision that didn't come out in words was that then it's the next iteration of a sapling. And that next iteration of the sapling, it's like time for us to get stronger, to grow even bigger, to grow even wider, to have more leaves, to have more branches. And so today, I'm inviting you to pick up whatever space you feel like you're in. If you need help witnessing where you're at, ask that God will help you witness. If you feel like you're in the next phase of being a sapling again, ask for stronger roots. Ask for the strength to keep growing, the faith to keep growing. And we're going to put this into God and we're going to ask that God will transfigure it so that it may become exactly the frequency of miracles so that we may become this light. So we're going to take a nice deep breath in, picking it up, putting it into God. And then I'm going to be quiet as you take a nice deep breath in, allowing this to release. They're going to breathe in again, and we're going to ask that God will touch your cells, that they may match the frequency of miracles. And then we're going to ask that God will place his hands on our head to give us a blessing, that we may receive the words that God has for us today. I got the new vision of what this message meant was that the new sapling phase isn't that the vision was that we are a sapling, that we become this huge tree that has these huge leaves and branches. But then those leaves, they drop and they create new saplings. And so it's not that we then become a sapling again. It's actually that we become more trees. This is how we build impact. This is how we grow a forest. That's so beautiful. So while a version of you has already reached the pinnacle of growth and tree branches and leaves, you are also creating new saplings. You are creating more growth, more impact. And we've already done it before, so we can do it again, right? So with that, we're going to open up our palms and we're going to ask God to give us what is our number one action that needs to be done today. And we're going to thank God for that. And we're going to write it down and ask that our angels will help us accomplish that. Then I invite you to just breathe into your heart and keep it soft today. That today we may love others as God loves us. That we may feel the strength fortified through our body as we grow, as we strengthen our roots. as we bring more light to the world. And today, my love, may you witness how far you've come, and then commit to even more growth. And with that, I thank you for wandering into the sacred with me. And I will see you tomorrow morning, right here in our prayer corner. Thank you, my love, for wandering into the sacred with me today. It is always an honor to hold this space for thousands of us to gather daily in sacred devotion. If you feel called to deepen this practice and join me live, I invite you to be a part of the Sacred Wandering Circle, a private, intimate space where we share our daily blessings in a Facebook group and gather once a month for a live 1-hour session. We come together to bless the body, to pray, and to receive. There is so much power when we unite with others who hold the sacred sacred. If your heart is nudging you, you can find the link in the show notes. And remember, you don't need anyone to help you hear God. You are the conduit. God speaks directly to you. And your prayer corner, it lives within you always.